Arsenal 1, Everton 0. Victor Gyokeres from the spot puts Arsenal back on top of the Premier League this evening. Some controversy tonight as well. Should Everton have had a penalty in the second half when Saliba kicked Barry in the back of the leg? Want to get your thoughts, want to get your opinions on that in the comments section below. But a hugely important win for Arsenal. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Very important indeed, especially with City playing first, especially with City going on top. That added bit of pressure to the Gooners. They had to deliver. They had to win. And they did that today. And I actually thought it was a decent performance from Arsenal. Really should have killed the game with a couple more goals. Trossard and Zubimendi hitting the post. But truth be told, if you look at this game and you break it down, there was very little in it from Everton. 0.2 XG the whole game. 5 shots, no big chances created in the game. Arsenal should have scored more, as I say, but a very, very, very important win for the Arsenal. Do me a big favor, please, and hit the like button. If you haven't done so yet, get it liked. Get yourself subscribing. Get yourself subscribing and get yourself ready for the show. The panel will be with us a little bit later. Another voice a bit hoarse today at my 40th birthday party yesterday. Hung over to hell, but had a great night. Great memories with the family, friends, and loved ones. But yeah, I'm not ill. Just sung a lot of songs. It was the end of the night. A bit of bright side, a little bit of Oasis. It was a nasty one. We're going to get into the VAR decisions later on the show, so stay with us for that one. Okay, stay with us for that. But I wanted to start by talking about the game in itself to begin with, and that was massive for Arsenal. Massive on every single level. It may not have been the most vintage performance. It may not have been the greatest display in the history of Arsenal Football Club. But the previous 3 away games in the Premier League, only 2 points were accumulated. A late last-minute winner to Aston Villa. And in that time, City have had a good run of form and find themselves, when Arsenal were kicking off, City were top, Arsenal were second. Arsenal had to get back to being impenetrable. They were that today. 5 shots conceded all game, just 1 on target. No big chances. 0.2 XG. If XG is something that you look at and you take seriously. But whatever you look at, Arsenal dominated. Arsenal not really hurt. And there was that period in the second half, maybe a 15-minute spell where Everton really went for it and they pushed up and they were getting a bit busy. They were pressing. They were making life difficult for Arsenal. But Arsenal handled it well. They handled it with a real air of authority, which I think in the previous 3 away games, that hadn't always been there. So it was a very important night tonight for Arsenal to get back to winning away from home, to respond to the Manchester City win as well. And you may have people that will say, well, Terry, they're still not at their absolute best. And that's why results are important. Because 2 or 3 game weeks ago, City were throwing away leads, 2 leads. Nearly threw away a 5-1 lead to Fulham. But they held on in those games, won those matches, and now they're in better form. Those points are so valuable. It's why that last-minute winner against Wolves, I understand why Arsenal fans were upset with the performance. I understand the criticism that Arsenal got, but how important now is that goal? When you fast forward a week later, that win away from home. Very, very important indeed. And I thought that Arsenal thoroughly deserved it today. In terms of the first half, look, Arsenal were by far the better team. It was a horrible game to watch in the first half because Everton didn't try to attack. Everton had 11 men behind the ball, even when they went 1-0 down. And let me just say about I felt that Arsenal should have had a penalty prior to that. Gyokeres is going to tap in a goal from a few yards out of his head. It's a clear push in the back by O'Brien. I cannot understand why VAR hasn't given that as a penalty. We all saw it in real time. He just pushes him in the back. You're not allowed to do that. It should be a penalty. But from the resulting corner, I have never seen a more stupid. I have never seen a more stupid handball in all my life. There is just no reason for it. Genuinely. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't get it. Like genuinely, I don't get it. I have no understanding of what was running through O'Brien's mind. Crazy on every single level. I also thought it was very brave of Arsenal to give the penalty to Victor Gyokeres. He's not the regular taker at Arsenal, Saka is. He's not been in the greatest of form. I get why they've given it to Gyokeres, because they want to get his confidence up. They want to get him scoring goals again. They want to lift his levels. I understand all of that. I get why you would do it. But I felt it was a massive risk. But he buries it. And Arsenal then see the rest of the half out absolutely comfortably. No issues there. The second half, as I've already mentioned, I think they came out with a bit between their teeth, Everton. They put a bit of pressure on Arsenal, and Arsenal handled it brilliantly. Then Arsenal took over the game again, and they really should have killed the game off. And I think for me today, watching Arsenal, the only real big bit of criticism I've got is they didn't kill the game off. Trossard, I think, should bury that chance. He hits the post. Zubimendi hits the post. There was a great bit of play by Arsenal, which sees the ball get played to Timber, but then Saka gets in his way. A few last-ditch tackles. Really should have been 2 or 3-0. The performance would have warranted a 2 or 3-0 victory today. But the most important thing for Arsenal is getting the 3 points, is getting the game over the line, is ensuring that they go into ensuring that they get the 3 points and go back top of the league. That was the most important bit, and they did that today. They did it comfortably in the end. And I also like the ending of the game. So if you go back to the previous away games against Sunderland, not so much Chelsea because they were down to 10 men, but against Aston Villa, too passive, too deep, and didn't play with any real authority. And right in the last 10 minutes of the game plus extra time, what Arsenal did differently, and I think this is the manager drilling it into the players, it's be braver, be more aggressive, be assertive, push forward, get up. Don't sit so deep. Don't just invite pressure. When those balls do come into the box, because they will, it's Everton, be first, be powerful, be aggressive. And they did that brilliantly. And Raya, to be fair, Raya was very commanding in the whole game. And in that last 10 to 15 minutes, 40% of Arsenal's goals this season have been conceded in the last 9 minutes of a game. It's a huge number. And it's something that if it doesn't improve, could cost them a league title. But the way they handled it today, and sometimes the best form of defensive attack is to force Everton back, to not allow them to create, not allow them too much room to maneuver in. And they did that very, very well indeed. Even the attacking substitutions made by David Moyes, Arsenal handled it. How'd they handle it? Simple. They kept the ball. They worked the ball well. Very aggressive at winning the ball back. And I think Arsenal fans should be very, very proud of that overall performance today. I thought it was very, very good indeed. Scoreline, would have made you nervous if you're an Arsenal fan. Rivals would have had a lot of hope that maybe a late equaliser goes in. But overall, I think it was a very, very good display from Arsenal indeed. I really do. Terry, remember we hit the post twice. Everton got lucky. There's a comment here. Yeah, listen, I've already said that. I said that about 3 or 4 minutes ago. I think that it was a performance from Arsenal tonight that warranted 2 or 3-0. That doesn't always happen in football. But the most important thing for Arsenal is that you went back to being defensively solid. Only 1 shot on target, only 5 shots all game, 0.2% XG, no big chances created. The stats prove what we all saw with the eye test. And even when Everton sort of put it on you, even when Everton attacked more, when they pushed up, when they looked for that equaliser, Arsenal were able to handle it, and they handled it very, very well indeed. And that, to me, was every bit as impressive as the way Arsenal attacked. And some of Arsenal's attacking moves today, I thought were absolutely brilliant. I really, really did. And the move that led to the Trossard chance, the move that led to the Zubimendi chance, the football was scintillating. And I think you saw in that moment why teams sit back so regularly against Arsenal. They don't think they can penetrate, And as soon as they give you a little bit of space, you cut through them like a hot knife through warm butter on a summer afternoon. And it was a joy to behold. But look, the 3 points, massively important. The title race is on. City are getting better and better and winning more games. And I think we as football fans are going to enjoy a very close race. I think it's going to be close until the end of the season. There might be a period where Arsenal pull away a bit again. Might be a period where City get 3 or 4 points in front themselves. But I think it's going to go up and down. I really, really do. But Arsenal had to get back to winning ways today away from home. The away form hadn't been good enough in the past 3 games. And they got the job done today. Another clean sheet as well. And when you look at the league table, which is, will be up on the screen in a few moments' time, you look at that league table now, 2 points ahead of City, 6 points ahead of Aston Villa. Let's see what Aston Villa do tomorrow against Man United. But even more importantly, 10 points now ahead of Chelsea. You remember how close Chelsea were to them? See, Liverpool, 10 points ahead of them as well. Very, very big and important day indeed. As ever, do us a big favor and hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Get yourself subscribing to the channel as well, please. And if you've got any hypes left for the week, get the video hyped as well. Now, I want to speak about the VAR situation today. As I've already said, I think Arsenal should have had a penalty prior to the handball. And I stand on that. I believe that, and I'm not going to change my mind. I'm not going to change my mind on that whatsoever. For me, it was a penalty. But there was some controversy in the other direction as well. And there was this moment in the game where William Saliba kicks Barry in the back of the leg. Now, first of all, I just want to ask you guys, what's your thoughts on this? To you, the viewers, penalty? Penalty or no penalty? What's your opinion? I want to gauge in the comment section right now. Penalty or no pen? What are you saying? What are you saying? What do you think? What are you thinking? I'm intrigued to know. I'm seeing a big mix. I'm seeing a lot of no penalties. I'm seeing some penalties. Let's keep it coming in. I want to read them. I might even go quiet while I'm reading them because I'm really intrigued to know what people think. Because for me, I've got to keep this consistent. For me, I've got to keep this 100. Now, where I'm going to defend VAR slightly, which is not something I really enjoy doing, but I'm going to try and be fair to a certain degree, is what we don't know is, did the referee see it? If the referee has seen this, then they go, the referee's call. So I can understand why maybe they didn't intervene. But for me, it's a foul. And I'm not sure why it isn't a penalty. I'm not sure why they haven't given it. I'm saying that because I also, a few seasons ago, believed that this was a penalty on Gabriel Jesus against Aston Villa. It's exactly the same scenario. This wasn't given either. So we have seen many of these not given, but I think they're fouls. So that's me telling you what I think it should be. You can give me your opinion. So we've seen them before. This one, Saliba on Barry, was absolutely the same as Douglas Luiz on Gabriel Jesus a few seasons ago. Neither were given. I said the same about the Arsenal one a couple of seasons ago, and I'm saying the same now. I don't understand why they're not fouls. I'm keeping it 100%. I'm being honest about it. And what I'm not going to do is say Arsenal's wasn't and this one was. What I'm not going to do is to say this one wasn't, but say Arsenal's was. I don't understand. The only way it makes any sense is if the referee has seen it and doesn't think there's much in it. What I'd also say about Barry is that the way he falls down and rolls around was like an exaggeration that sometimes goes against you. But for me personally, you go to kick the ball and you don't kick it and you miss the ball and you kick the back of someone's leg, I think it's a foul. But I'd love to get your views. I'd love to get your opinions on that in the comments section below. There are a lot of this here go. Not the same because Saliba didn't see the opponent. Oh, why is that not the same? No pen, not enough force. Every contact is not a foul. Fair. Past two games, the ref has been Arsenal's extra man. What happened in the Wolves game? What am I missing? What am I not remembering? Let's have a little look here. They're not the same. Again, you got to explain to me why they're not the same. I feel they're very, very similar, my friend. They changed the rule, Terry, when they decide not to give the penalty versus Newcastle for Arsenal. PGMOL causing confusion as usual. Oh, listen, I've got no love or time for the PGMOL. They're awful. Defend VAR. You do know why it's not a penalty kick, Terry. Stay consistent. Well, I don't know what you mean. Let's just have an honest conversation here. Don't speak in innuendo. Speak openly so we can have a conversation. Let's be fucking grown-ups here. Come on. Saliba's foot. Sorry, what? I hate the way this moves. It doesn't stay still. I need to feed back to the people. Saliba's foot is almost level with the other player's boot. It wasn't in the back of the leg. What do you mean? What do you mean? He definitely kicked the back of his leg. He did. Foul on Saliba first, holding the arm and pulling the shirt. Okay. It's a free kick. It's a free kick. It's a penalty. I don't know what that means. So every handball shouldn't be given as a penalty. Arsenal one also doesn't deserve to be given as a penalty. That was a handball. That's the weirdest comment of the night. Definitely a handball. Definitely a penalty to Arsenal. What are we doing here? 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 What are we doing? Some of these comments are strange. The handball was a defender playing, but it's the most blatant handball you'll ever see. The most blatant. Absolutely most blatant. But there we go. But what I am saying about the potential penalty for Everton, and I suppose you could see this as a defense of Arsenal in this, in terms of the decision, is that we have seen these penalties not given in the past. So this one not being given, at least there's an air of consistency in that. I also remember another one against Arsenal a few years ago where Saka got absolutely booted and it wasn't given in a very similar scenario. So they don't seem to want to give those penalties. But there we go. Hypocrisy at its finest. What's hypocrisy, bro? Again, I can take criticism, but I need to know what you're talking about. Because I've not been a hypocrite here, because I think they're all fouls. Where's the hypocrisy? Disagreeing with you is not hypocrisy. Come on. This season, it's been given in several games, and I think they're always fouls. I'm saying that. That's what I've said. What's not clear about this? What's not clear about what I've said? Let me know. I'm very confused by some of the challenges tonight. Is what's annoying some of my haters, is it the fact that I'm saying Arsenal got lucky with that decision, and because I'm not saying what you thought I would say, which is that it wasn't a penalty, is that making you angrier? Fucking morons. Tevin, my bro, hope you're good, my friend. Hope you're good. It's hypocrisy because you aren't part of the mindless Arsenal hate train. Yeah, well, that's just it. But equally, look, I'm going to be consistent. If tomorrow Bruno Fernandes gets kicked like that in the box by a Villa defender, I'm going to ask for a penalty. So I'm not going to say today isn't one. That's it. Simple as that. I'm consistent with these things. What I will say is that where this may not have been given is if the referee's seen it and gone, I didn't think there was much in it, and therefore there isn't an obvious error and they can't overturn it. That's probably what you're going to find this is. I don't like that, but I understand that. Terry, stop defending Arsenal. The kick, it's a penalty. Sorry, it says, Terry, stop defending Arsenal. The kick on Barry is a penalty, you mug. Big up yourself, bro. I can read that sarcasm. It's very good. Is Terry ill? No, I'm not ill. I'm not ill. I very hungover. It was my 40th birthday party last night. I was up till 3 or 4 in the morning with friends and family. I had a great night. My throat's just sore from singing and shouting and playing and messing around. And I'm very hungover. I'm very tired. That's all it is. So I'll be fine tomorrow morning. There we go. Very sore throat today. Yeah, that's it. Right. We're going to bring the panel out to have their say in a few moments' time. Actually, I've got some super chats first. Actually, I didn't see these super chats. I'm going to do these first. In Jesus' case, he had the ball under control. Yeah, I don't think that matters, personally. Not for me. Rather win 10 games 1-0 than 3 games 3-0. Just a thought. Well, yeah, because one's 9 points and one's 30 points. So, yeah, I agree. It was a two-handed handball. City fans are rattling. They are hoping Arsenal will lose points tonight. Anyone who doesn't think that's a handball should be banned from having giving the football opinions. If you don't think it's handball, you're a moron. Drinking rival tears. We're in bubble. 3 points matter. We're in bubble. I don't even know what that means. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm still drunk. This can go either way. As a ref of 18 years, I wouldn't give that because Saliba doesn't see the leg. But VAR has given this before and he does kick him. Come on, you gooners. I hear you, D Little. And as I say, I've seen some given and some not given. And I'm not too sure on the distinction, if I'm being honest with you. In the first half, there were multiple synchronized runs from the entire front three with Odegaard trying to find them, which was a positive tweak. Yeah, it was, and there was a lot of that today. We haven't won much of their place in recent years. I read a stat today that it's been about 8 years since this game at Goodison Park or home for Everton. It's been more than 8 years since this game's been settled by more than a single goal. Always a close game. Always a close game. Jesus had that kind of handball and got a red card. I don't remember that. When was that, my friend? Everton's best defender was the woodwork. Yeah. Funny rivals that would sit here and call Arsenal bottlers or whiners in reference to the referee decisions are sitting here in the chat crying about VAR. Well, this is what I always find very ironic is Arsenal fans are told to never moan about VAR, but whenever it's deemed that Arsenal have benefited from a decision, the same rivals that say don't moan, don't have excuses, are crying about it. It's because they're scared of Arsenal. Welcome to the 40s club, bro. Happy birthday, top man. I turned 40 in July. Gritty win. Could have won by more. Come on, you gooners. Nikhil, thank you very much for the donation and the birthday wishes as well, my friend. Thank you. When nobody is in control of a bouncing ball, it's a collision, not a foul. Haters can cry. Is that the distinction in the law? So if that's the law, then I'll change my opinion on it. I didn't know if that's the law, then fair enough. But I need to read it, if that makes sense. Saka and Odegaard have become the weak links in the team. Everybody has improved besides them. Nothing about Saka is world class, not even his barber. Saka was a threat all game today. I don't know what Saka did wrong today, personally. Why no Everton robbed in the title? It's in the title. What are you talking about? It's in the title. What are you talking about? You didn't fucking read the whole title, did you? You just saw the beginning part of it. It's definitely in the title. Super ugly win. I should have watched the Leeds game. Yeah, the Leeds game was probably a more entertaining game, to be fair. What happened to the Brighton performance? Why can't we just play? So that's from earlier. That's from the Liverpool one. Sorry. Hit the like button, people. Come on, you gooners. Thank you, Luke Skywalker. Sam here with a donation. Doesn't say anything, but thank you very much for the donation, Sam. It means a great deal. I am going to bring the panel out to speak now because I've got to give this voice a rest. It is mangled, mate. I've got Brandon, got Footy Corner. We've got Anton coming on to have their say on the show. Let me just move the scores off the screen. Move myself across. Welcome, gentlemen. Thanks for coming back on. Appreciate you being here. Congrats on the win. Brandon, back to winning ways away from home in the Premier League. Only a 1-0 win, but a fairly comfortable night.
Yeah, it was very comfortable night, to be fair, Tel. I mean, it's a hard game to analyse, really, because both sides stunk the gaff out big time. Both sides stunk the gaff out big time. We was very poor from an attacking sense. I think the only player in the attacking areas that turned up for us today was Bukayo Saka. I think the rest were quite poor, especially on the ball as well. There was a real lack of quality in that game today from both sides. And we're just quite fortunate in a way, really, that we get the penalty, their defenders playing volleyball in the box. Because aside from, I know Trossard hit the post, I know Zubamendi hit the post as well, but I wouldn't really call Zubamendi's chance a proper chance. It was more like a half chance. Trossard's one was the one, but aside from that, we didn't really do too much in terms of creating in front of goal. But the positives are, Tel, we're top of the league. We kept another clean sheet. We controlled the game very, very well when we needed to. Slowed it down really well when we needed to. But the same issues apply. The same issues apply. I don't think this is a game to look at and go, oh, wow, Arsenal are definitely going to win this league now. Like it wasn't one of them performances today. It was just a case of get the job done, get out of there with 3 points, no matter what happens. And that's what we did. Very disappointed with individual performances, like I say. I thought Zubamendi was quite poor in the midfield. He had 1 or 2 hairy moments. Potential penalty for Everton, although I think it was outside the box. So he was quite fortunate with that one. The Saliba one, for me, it's not a penalty, but I have seen them given. So he's fortunate to get away with that one as well. But yeah, just the attacking sense again, Tel. I just look at these players and I'm like, 1-0 is never a comfortable scoreline in the Premier League, no matter who you're playing. And as soon as we scored the goal, I was expecting us to kind of wake up a little bit and start really creating some chances. And that it didn't happen like that. We just kind of saw the game out and controlled the game. And again, I talk about individual performances. Odegaard, not the greatest game from him. Gyokeres, I've defended him all week. But in terms of his hold-up play, in terms of his first touch again today, it weren't good enough. It just simply wasn't good enough. There was a couple of moments where he's trying to hold that ball up, and I'm thinking, you're a big, strong guy. You've got a big upper body strength. And I know Tarkowski and Keane are, big, strong defenders themselves, but the way he was getting bullied off that ball was far too easy sometimes today. It was far too easy sometimes today. And that's pretty much all I could take out of that game, Tel, to be honest with you. It was so boring to watch. I think I would have preferred to watch the paint on my walls dry, to be honest with you. But there you go. It is what it is.
I hear you, mate. Anton, do you agree with Brandon? Do you think Arsenal stunk the house out today and it was a boring game?
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Look, there was, by the way, Merry Christmas to everybody. Before I answer the question, I brought my eggnog out, wearing my Santa hat, because Arsenal are top at Christmas. And I think for me, that's the headliner. That's all that matters. Out of the 33 campaigns the Premier League has had, 17 of them, whoever has been top at Christmas has gone on to win the league. So hopefully let's make that 18 this year.
Oh, look at that beautiful. Is that boy or girl? Look at that beautiful thing.
Girl, she's pain up the ass.
Do our Arsenal look? This wasn't an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. I think Arsenal could have to be honest, it was finished 1-0, but the chances that we had in the second half, we should have made this 3 or 4. That's kind of where some of my frustrations come from. That's where some of my criticism comes from. But overall, I don't know what Brandon's talking about, by the way, with Gyokeres. Actually, for me, I thought it was unfair that Gyokeres came off as early as he did. I thought this was his best game for a long time. Forget about the penalty that he scored. I thought he was a lot like they were actually finding him in some chances. I think Odegaard, like for instance, if he puts the ball like a little bit more central and lets Gyokeres run into that, like instead of giving it wide, so he has to put in an awkward cross, Gyokeres probably would have struck that easy. So like there are a few little details in the game I still think that are different, but Gyokeres is getting involved. He's making runs one-on-one. I'm seeing him pop up on the left again, which for me is always a good sign that he's starting to grow in confidence. So I actually thought that it was a really good performance from Gyokeres. I think before he scored the penalty, I think it was with Michael Keane who kind of like tackles him to the ground, and I think that could have been a tap in for him as well. So I think the Gyokeres game for me was better. I actually think that our chances started to drop off a little bit more once he actually came off the pitch for me, which generally happens to be the case. I didn't really like Arteta's substitutions though, because for me, like I said at halftime, I forgot which group chat I was talking in, but that this game was crying out for an Eze, because I just thought that this was one of the poorer games for Saka and Odegaard in terms of what I know they can provide to the team. Saka, for me, while he was a constant threat in the entire game, his final third for me was just really underwhelming. Like, I think he's probably the reason for me today why we didn't run away with this game, because I thought that the game was there for him to take it and he didn't take it. So I was a bit frustrated with that. I actually would have brought on Madueke. I would have brought on Eze. And I thought that the best two attackers I also had today were Gyokeres and Trossard. And those were the ones that the manager took off. So for me, I was a little bit perplexed by that. I think it needs to be a little bit more of a meritocracy than let's just play my favorites, which I kind of felt a lot today. Like Odegaard's for me today, I just wasn't happy with his performance. And I'm just going to say this, because everybody knows, right? I think I have the protection of knowing that I'm one of the more positive Arsenal fans here, and I generally have got Arteta's back.
Too positive at times.
Right. But in this scenario, I felt like Odegaard wasn't having a good game, and the manager protected him. Like, he could have done whatever he wanted today. He was playing 90 minutes. Eze needed to come. We needed a little bit of extra sparkle, and Eze would have brought that today, and Eze doesn't play. We've had a week off. There's no excuses. We've got a lot of games coming up. Yeah, well, that's why you had a 1 week break. I'm talking about bringing on Eze for 20, 30 minutes. Didn't give him 1 second in this game. I just felt like we could have destroyed this team today. Everton offered nothing to the game, and I am a bit worried with our attack right now, because we've now played Everton and Wolves, 2 of the 3 worst attacks in the Premier League, and not scored a single goal from open play. So that for me is worrying. But at the end of the day, we're top of Christmas. Let's go ahead next week. That we got to beat Brighton at home and just keep maintaining this, because at the moment I am a little worried with the fact that City's winning 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, and we're just getting it over the line. Now, as long as we get it over the line and they don't really peek ahead of us, I'm happy with it. But there are slight concerns at the moment. But at the end of the day, Merry Christmas, because we're top of Christmas. And,
Careful, Anton. Careful. You're starting to sound like me.
I know.
Came down to your level a little bit there.
I have a totally different opinion from yours.
Whilst you just brought up Odegaard, that is always going to be an issue with Odegaard. It's clear to see he's the captain of the football club. The manager really likes him. He just comes back from injury, slots straight back into the side again. All of a sudden, Eze's holding bench or he's being played out of position. I think that's just something you're going to have to get used to, Anton, because that just seems to be the way that Arsenal is. And unfortunately, with Odegaard in particular, people say that he's this creative person. He actually slows the game down. really really slows the game down.
The stats stay different though. I mean, you're looking at the eye test.
I don't care about stats there. I do not care about stats. Stats mean absolutely nothing to me. Watch football with your eyes, and you will see exactly what that guy does on the pitch.
4 people and move really fast, but then when the guy creates 5 chances in the game and no striker latches onto the 5 chances, you want to blame Odegaard for that. Honestly speaking, I think fans we overdo it sometimes.
What chances?
The last game we played, how many chances who created the most chances on the pitch? Who created the most chances on the pitch?
What chances?
Not against Everton today. We struck the bar twice today. Nobody's talking about the fact that those were just like an inch and a half on the inside would have been 3 goals. And it's making it sound like we didn't create anything or or everybody was poor. Everton was always going to be a tough game. The last 3 games we played away, Arsenal have only racked up 2 points in the last 3 games we played. For me, this was a game where we're going away. Let's just mellow our head, be pragmatic. I said this on the stream with the guy when he asked me before the match. He says, "What would you take?" I said, "I'll take a 1-0 stinker. I just need the 3 points. I need the guys to feel like we can win away. It was tough, and then we can switch mentality gears, rest over the holidays, come back in January, and then start focusing on our way. The way we play away. It needs to
if
get
only
better."
football worked that well, Dale.
I'm not saying it works.
It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. You can't go from gear 1 to all of a sudden gear 5 or 6. It don't work like that. Just to rebuttal your point real quick.
I didn't say that though.
Even the manager, did not look happy today with that performance. Of course. Even the manager.
Again, I'm not even talking about the performance. You didn't hear what I said. I said our away performances have been poor, and we have either dropped points or lost them. This was an away performance where I just wanted to see a win and see us steady the ship. Get steady, win, get 3 points, and then you have time to now work on getting better on your away games. That's what I said. I didn't say you can go from gear 1 to 6. I'm saying steady the ship. Don't lose in the last minute. Don't concede rubbish goals. Don't make the mistakes we've made in the last 3 away games. That's all I'm saying. Again, the technicalities of the players, they're skillful already. We know how good Eze is. Why is it that we're losing away games? It's probably the mentality, the way we're taking it. So we've got to fix that. You can't tell me Eze is not a good player, or Odegaard does not know how to pass, or you can't tell me that Saka is not a good player, or Raya is not a good goalkeeper. Like all those mistakes that they make away, what is causing it? It's not because they're not capable. It's because of something else. And I just feel like that's what needs to be fixed, and that's all I'm addressing. I'm not saying that they played well. I haven't said they played well.
Are you calling out the manager?
Yeah, this is a mentality thing. Yeah. This away games are a mentality thing because you don't have your home support. It's different. It's always going to be tough. Away games are always going to be tough. So you've got to figure out what it is that you need to do with the team. Because again, look at the last 3 away games we played in the league. We've dropped a lot of points in those away games. And my thing is, if we keep on dropping points in away games, that becomes a problem. So let's figure out a way to go get these stinkers out. Whether it looks good to me or not, get me my 3 points in the away game. But at home, show them what you're made of with the 12th man, the stand, the fans, everybody. I feel like that's how you can get by because the league is tough. Every stadium you go to is no joke. So I'm not saying they played well, they played amazing, Odegaard was good. No, you have to be pragmatic in some of these games. We're not going to win every game 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. This is about points. It's about 3 points. That's what this is about this season. Honestly,
I do want to say on the game, I do get some of the criticisms in the match. But we spoke about this earlier on this week. You're going to a run of 6 fixtures now. You've just won one of them in games that you didn't win last year. You drew with Everton, Brighton, then you got Villa again, lost to Bournemouth, drew with Liverpool at home, and drew with Nottingham Forest away. I think psychologically as well, going to a ground that you drew out last year and getting that win after not winning your previous 3 away games, as an outsider looking in, I think that's really important. Equally, I think you've been in a bit of a blip in terms of performances as of late, especially away from home. So to get back to winning ways is important because if you look at City and their little wobble a few game weeks ago where they were throwing away leads and scraping the wins at the end, look how important that the win against Leeds and the win against Fulham is. The last 3 matches, they've been brilliant and won very comfortably. But those wins where they didn't play so well now actually mean a little bit more. I'm quite convinced you guys will start to click again soon, score 2 or 3 more goals. Because if Trossard's goal and Zubamendi's goal goes in, you're probably all feeling a little bit different, even if every other facet of the game was the same. And I think for me, again, I'm not emotional about it like you guys. You support the club. You love the club. I'm an outsider in that regard. I actually think you might look, again, the way you won that Wolves game, tonight's match, you may, if you're lifting that trophy up at the end of the season, look back at these games when you've not been at your best and really see how important they were. But I absolutely concur. You want those performance levels to go up, because if you maintain this level of performance for the next 6, 7, 8 games, you are going to drop more points, which you can't afford to do. So
I get where you're coming from, Tel. I do, but this seems to be a theme with Arsenal when they face teams that sit deep.
Everybody does.
Not everybody does, though. Not everybody does. And
That doesn't.
eh?
Last season we draw this game. If we play the way we played
No, I'm not disputing that. I said when I came on, the positive is we won the game. You know, that game that we drew last season is turned into a win. There are positives to take out of this. I'm not saying that. However, you know, as I said, you can't just go from gear 1 to gear 6, and it's gradual. It's a gradual thing. And you're right about City, Tel. You're absolutely right about City. They had a wobble on that. But they had individual performances in them games, in the games where they had the wobble, where you could pick out and say, okay, City as a collective are not performing very well, but this individual is performing very well. With Arsenal at the moment, in the attacking areas, which is our big problem area, there's only one player that's really performing, and that's Bukayo Saka. The rest of them haven't been that great. Let's just be honest about it. They haven't in the last 2, 3, 4 games. They haven't been very good at all. And that's a worry, because that area of the pitch is the area that we really need to concentrate on fixing quickly. But the reason why it's such a worry that it's only Saka that's performing is because last year it was only Saka that was performing. The season before that, it was only Saka that was performing. And inevitably, that ended up being the thing that bit us in the arse in the end. And I don't want it to be that case this season. These players, these individuals need to start turning up. They need to start performing. And if they don't start performing, what I want to see from my manager is, right, you're not performing. You're sitting on the bench today, and I'm giving Madueke his chance. Do you know what I mean? I don't see enough of that from Arteta. It is very much like what Anton said, where he has his favourites, he has his players.
Nah, not this season, Brandon. You know,
Brandon.
you see that narrative?
Yeah, he does. He still
Eze
does.
was poor in the last game that he played. Eze was poor in the game he played before that. Now he's benched Eze and brought in Odegaard, and we're complaining. Okay, Odegaard is poor. Play Eze in the next match. Everybody's screaming today, bring Eze on, bring Eze on. Eze gave us nothing in the last games that Eze played. Let's be realistic. You can.
I don't disagree with that, Deo. However,
hold on. Wait, Brandon, hold on. So
But Madueke had 2 goals and hasn't seen 1 second of play
listen,
time
listen,
since.
Listen.
Let's
Eze
also play that on the other
Eze
side.
was poor. The manager benched him, right?
Yeah.
And brought in Odegaard. But we've not seen enough of that. He's not being bold enough. Of course he is. He's just put Eze, who did not play well, on the bench. Yeah, you can say Madueke was good. Madueke was good. He scored 2 goals. Was Saka good today or not? Was Saka not a threat today or not? Like, what are you expecting Saka to do? You expect
threat and good, I think, are 2 different
You're
things.
expecting Saka for 38 games of the season to perform at 110% consistently. There will be games like this that are tough, where it's going to be hard to get through. But he created stuff. He went in. He took on his man. He crossed balls in. He won us free kicks on the side. He did.
But again, all we're saying, Deo, right, is we've been down this road before, where we do the same thing, play the same players, even if they're not performing, and etc. We've been down there, and it's got us nowhere. What I want to see, and I'm sure the other lads want to see as well, is Mikel Arteta change it up a little bit. Like Anton was saying, Madueke is performing, play him on the right-hand side, and play Saka on the left.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like
there's no reason why you can't do that. There is no reason why you can't do
playing number 10 at times today.
yeah.
There's no reason why he can't go left.
But even then,
so
right?
in the summer, you bought a player to be backup to Saka, right? You bought a player specifically. You sat down in the summer.
It's not about being a backup, Deo. If a player is performing, you play him. That's how it works at a big club. Is that?
Listen. You heard the manager and the club say in the summer, we want 2 quality players for every position. This was what they always said. Good. So that means he went out and bought a second quality player for Saka's position. right? Now, because that player performs whenever he's put into a game, you were saying, put that player there and let's move Saka to the left. Like, if you do that halfway through your season, when you've planned something as a club and as a team with your training team, that must be the dumbest thing you can do.
No, it's not. So
It's
are you
not.
telling me, hang on, Deo, are you telling me then that Saka can't play on the left? Is that what you're
I'm
telling
not
me?
saying Saka can play on the left. The point is, when you don't do that in training and you can't train it in a week.
Forget training. Forget training.
How can
This
you
is
not? How can
again,
you
this
see
comes
Saka
back
training?
down to, yeah, we've done the same thing for the past 2-3 years. It has not won us anything. So now that you've got
This is
the
about
big
today's-
squad,
this is about
hang
today's
on.
game. The season hasn't
Now
ended.
that you've got the big squad, you've got these players, you've invested all this money. All I'm simply saying, Deo, is when a player is performing, play them. If they're not performing, bench them. None of this, he's not performing, but we'll continue to play him, continue to play him, continue to play him.
By the way,
Week in, week out.
Theo,
All we're
Who's not-
saying
who's not
is,
performing?
yeah,
Who's not
and
performing here?
again,
Saka is not performing.
yeah, but again,
Is that
there's
what you're
other
saying?
elements to it.
Hold on,
There's
wait,
other,
wait,
I think we're talking
Hold
about the
on,
wrong
Deo.
player.
There's
here, by
other
the way. It's
elements
not
to this.
Saka, that's the
There's other
problem.
elements to this. And when I say about Arteta doing things differently as well, you know, in that first half today, I mean, we all said it. Everton offered absolutely nothing going forward. Absolutely nothing. He could have brought on Eze and played Odegaard next to him. We could afford to have 2 10s on the pitch, but we're so set in our ways to play this double pivot, one attacking midfielder. It's the same old, same old, same old. What I'm saying is can the manager adjust a few things, yeah, and change 1 or 2 things just to create a bit more flow in attacking areas for us? And he could afford to do that against Wolves. He could have afforded to do that today. He could have afforded to play Madueke against Wolves, right? Because he was performing, and for me, he's a confidence player. If you've got a player that's a confidence player who's high on confidence, play him. He's not now going to step into the team, score 2 goals. Let's say he steps back into the team again at some point, scores 2 goals. Is he really going to, when he comes back in, is he really going to perform to the highest level? No, because he knows that he's going to be sat on that bench again. He doesn't get rewarded for his good performances. And all these players that are underperforming are continuing to play week in, week out. He's got to do something about changing that.
Again. You see, this is why I don't agree with you, and not because I'm trying to be on the other side. This same squad last season, this same team last season, right? This same manager never used to rotate players at all. We've seen more rotation this season in Arsenal. Hold on, yes or no? Yes or no? In all 17, 18 games, in all competitions that we play right now, have we seen more rotation this season?
Yeah, but how much of that rotation as well, though? No, Deo. No, you asked me a question. Let me answer.
I know what
you
you're
asked me a question. Let me answer.
Okay,
yeah. How much of that rotation has been forced rotation as well? You have to take that into consideration as well.
Forced or no forced, right? Forced or no forced, have we seen more rotation this season?
Yes, we've seen more rotation, but is it the right rotation?
Hold on. That's number one. You can argue whether it's the right rotation or the wrong rotation. For you to say that he's not rotating is what I'm saying. You can come and argue about whether the rotation works, whether Eze worked in this game against Bruges, or whether Odegaard was the right guy to play against this game in Everton, or whether we should actually play Easton in another game. Like, you can argue about those rotations, but to say that he's not rotating is false. That's number one.
I never said that you weren't rotating.
Number two, you talked about performances and you should play players that perform.
Yeah.
Because Madueke performed in the Champions League against an European side that plays a different style of football, because remember, your weekly game at the league is your bread and butter. Every team in the league is gunning for you because you're at the top. That's different from playing the Club Bruges, who's trying to qualify with 3 points and get to the next round, knowing you're also at the top. There's a difference in how European football is played and how they open up to us and how that allows him. We've seen Madueke in the league struggle as well when we've played him against defenders, because they know that this is your week in, week out daily butter. So sometimes you just have to go to games and be like, look, we can take out a 1-0 stinker here. We know what the team is capable of doing. We've seen this team in October not concede goals. We've seen them increase their open play goals in November, when everybody was saying we're only scoring set pieces. And in November, we're the team that scored the most open goals. We've seen all of this already. So we know what they're capable of doing. This one game doesn't change the strength of the squad or how good they are. My point is, there's certain games you will look at them and just take what you get from it. because you know that this was a game that 2 seasons ago you lose, last season you draw. These were the teams that we would drop points to. So the first thing you want to do is get that hoodoo off your back, go there, get your 3 points, get the win, come out of there, and then now let's look at it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that they played well or anything.
I totally get what you're saying, Deo. But again, this comes back to my point. If you've got a player there that's performing, they should play. Otherwise, people like Madueke, people like our second string bench players, right? They're not going to come in and perform anymore because they know that they're going to just end up straight back on the bench. Do you see what I'm saying? You've got to reward these players that are performing.
Scored a brace and has not had played 1 second in 2 games since.
And we needed goals in both games. Do you know what I mean? The guy scores a brace. He's not played a single second in both games since. Not a single second. We needed a goal against Wolves. And we're bringing on the likes of Jesus. We're bringing on the likes of all the others and whatever ahead of him. And I'm like, what are you doing?
I'm not there in training during the week, but I can say this to you.
I don't care about training, Deo.
Brandon.
Training and playing on the pitch are two different things. If there's a player that's performing, you fucking play him.
You have to care.
How hard is that to understand?
Just because you played one game good, Noni has not been consistent in every single game. He was getting better slowly but surely. When
I have to reward that getting better. The only way it gets even better than that is if you keep getting a run of games.
Again, there's a game midweek coming up. So if you get another extra 3 days to rest and play in that game, fair enough. Like there's so many games to play. The fact that you want to pick on an Everton game where you got your 3 points in a team that we would normally have lost to,
guys,
and say, because they didn't play Noni or this guy is wrong. It just doesn't make
I hear this, guys. I'm gonna jump to a few super chats that have come through here. This was from earlier from Chris, one of our members, who says, "I wouldn't have complained if it was a pen." What did you guys make? I'll go to Sparks first on this. Sparks, what did you make of the penalty claim against Arsenal? This when Saliba kicks the back of Barry's leg. Do you feel that was a pen, not a pen? Do you feel fortunate? What was your view on it?
I think it's deemed as a collision because basically they're both competing for the ball. I think that's the actual official ruling. I think they set the stall out with the ones that wasn't given against Jesus, and I think there was another one the same season where it was kick on the back of the leg and it wasn't given. So I think they've set the stall out, and I'd be quite disappointed if it was given as a penalty, but then it wouldn't have surprised me at all if they'd get. I thought he was giving it. He did actually point to it for it, I think, at one point, and then redacted it. But for me, I don't think it should be a penalty because you're basically both going for the same ball, both eyes on the ball, and he kind of came across him, and it was very similar circumstance, only like both going with their heads with the Saliba João Pedro one last season as well, where that should have been deemed a collision and it shouldn't have been a penalty in the ruling, but they're the two kind of opposites. So, there's no consistency really with PGMOL, so it wouldn't really surprise me if it was given at all.
Okay, that's fair. This here said, there's a few more comments here. People will blame the manager for not rotating Rice and Zubimendi, but no would look at players missing chances to make it 2-0 with Zubimendi and Trossard, Saka all missed.
To be fair, that's not where my criticism would lie. I actually have no problem with Rice and Zubimendi both playing 90 minutes.
Zubimendi didn't play well at all today, and he kind of Ødegaard had to basically revert to his old kind of role. So I would say that kind of, it didn't negate his performance, but it affected his performance.
To be honest, I thought that Zubi put in a critical challenge on the Barry. Everyone was shouting penalty, and I'm watching.
I didn't think that is
amazing.
It was outside the box anyway.
Challenge. No, but if you look at that again, right? His toe just kind of like nips the ball just like slightly, and he kind of throws Barry off a little bit, and so Barry kind of falls forward. But it was actually just the most remarkable challenge by Zubimendi. Literally, for everybody shouting penalty. Literally, go back and watch that.
No different to the Michael Keane one.
Yeah.
When Michael Keane came across in front of, was he in front of Saka? I think it was. That's the same thing. He just got an edge on the ball, and it's not a penalty, is it?
Yeah. No, I thought Zubi was. I thought Zubi was decent. I don't think
He was okay, but
for me, my
standards.
bigger issue is with our attacking players right now.
Yeah, but what
In
I'm
fact,
saying is,
the funny
he's
thing
spending
is
more
the last
time
2 weeks
covering
I've sat here defending Victor Gyokeres, and by the way, I think the fact that he scored a goal should not go without being mentioned today. I think that could be massive. I know it was from the penalty spot, but actually, it was the other attackers today that were really frustrating me. Their lack of clinical edge was driving me nuts because Everton were there to be taken. Somebody's got to put that thing in the back of the net. Like we're talking about wide open spaces. We're talking about times where we were literally had them locked in, and it was target practice, and we couldn't hit the side of a barn door. Like
I hear that. This here says, was everyone on the panel at your party? Everyone sounds beat up. No, none of the gents on the on the panel were, to be fair.
we don't have the
We didn't
privilege
get
yet of
invites.
being in
We're
Terry's
not that
top
special.
friends list. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday,
Yeah.
Terry. I totally forgot.
Yeah, happy birthday, but we're not that special. We don't get invited to things like that yet.
Makes me feel awkward, that.
No, I'm just kidding with you, man. I'm just fucking with you.
In fairness, two of the gents on here live, it's a long way to come for an evening.
Yeah.
No, if you give me an invite, I'll get on a plane, man. I ain't afraid. Party? Hey, it's a
Do you know
party,
what?
man.
Do you know what? In fairness, you guys are in the group chats. I did put it in the group chats about.
Yeah, I know. I know, Terry. I'm just fucking with you, my friend.
No, I don't know.
Terry, I live in Australia. I'm just messing with you, man.
Yeah. I doubt you'd have flown over. Yeah.
I'm not exclusive enough to get in the group chat yet, so you know. There you go.
KJ runs all the group chats, not me.
He was there last night.
And this here says Jermaine Genius for Newcastle against Arsenal 2005. Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Go back. We're playing by different set of rules now.
This guy with a dog just lied. He defended Gyokeres all week. I watched every pod you were on. Only Arsenal fan who defended him was Strico. He all whining anyways.
He's always whining
Well,
anyway.
let me answer. First of all, you need to learn English, my friend. Yeah, because that don't make any sense at all. And second of all, I mean, anybody can go and do it. Go and watch Arsenal Roundabout on Dan Potts' channel after this, and you will see that I've been defending Gyokeres against Stricto. So I don't know what you're talking about, because Stricto was the one who was saying that Gyokeres ain't been good enough, and we should probably sell him.
I know without.
What did he say? Sell him?
But that's what he's saying, Brandon. His super chat is saying that you like you defended Gyokeres all week. That he watched every podcast. That you were the only Arsenal fan who defended Gyokeres, which is him. Who defended him was Stricto, or defended him against Stricto. Basically, I think that's my understanding of what he said here.
No, he just said I lied.
These are the only Arsenal fan who defended him was Stricto. Anyway,
I don't.
These guys are crying again as usual. Odegaard was the best player today. Trossard was only okay, and Jesus didn't lose the ball like Gyokeres.
Okay, this guy's watching.
Not sure what game he was watching.
Marty Keown next.
Off a zero goal threat. Tevin here with the member chat says, would have sworn we lost the last 4 matches. Sheesh. I don't think Odegaard was nowhere near as bad as it's being made out to be. Weren't scintillating, but we were comfortable away.
Can I answer that one, Terry? It's a pretty simple answer to that, right? Yeah, we're winning, but we're talking about trying to reach a championship level, which we're going after a title, and the standard of performance that is necessary is higher. Yes, for a team that's in the top 4 or 5 or 6, yeah, sure, great performance today from Odegaard from that standard. But we're talking about trying to win titles, and to win titles, you have to be at your best, highest performance levels.
Not all the time. You have to know when to be able to play a pragmatic game and just get your points, walk out of there. You have to know when to steamroll a team. You have to know when when the wind is behind your sails. The wind is not going to be behind your sails all the time. This is what it's 38 games in the season. I don't know what we're expecting. I think we're expecting Arsenal to go out there just because Everton is a bottom team or Wolves is, we should smash them 6-0. It doesn't work that way. For me, it's a case of, all right, be pragmatic in certain games, because those are the kind of games where you go all out and they hit you on the counter twice. And then they park the bus. And then now you're screwed.
You're right. We don't have to
preferred
perform
we defended from the front as well.
We don't. I'm not saying we have to perform poorly. I'm saying like there's certain games that you go into and you're just like, all right, cool. This here we can be pragmatic in this game. There are other games that you go in and you know that all right, your tactics are working fully from the very beginning, and you dominate that game. You take charge of it. There was not a lot of threats today. We actually struck the bar twice. If Zubi scored and Trossard scored, we would not be sitting here saying this.
You're right. We don't have to perform to the highest standard all the time. There are games we're going to be pragmatic, but I just look at Ryan Cherky right now at Manchester City, and I think, well, when was the last time we see Odegaard perform like that? A couple of years ago.
Let's see Ryan Cherky do that for the rest of the season.
Let me just do some more of these super chats, please. I'm running out of time tonight. Sorry again. Sorry. Everton is always a tough ground for us to go to. It is our Arsenal's record. There's interesting. This here from Rosie Daniels, who's thank you for the donation. Says Brandon needs to find another team. He's never balanced in his take on any game. Terry, happy birthday, and have a very Merry Christmas from Bermuda. Thank you very much for the donation. Thank you for the happy birthday message. And Brandon, find a new team.
Yeah, what team would you suggest?
Come be miserable with me.
I mean, Brandon's still going to
I'm fed up with being miserable, to be honest with you. But I would say I'm pretty balanced today. There's positives, there's negatives to take out of it. Whatever.
This is Dio. This is where we need to rotate play, folks.
Yeah, we changed 3 players in the lineup today. You know that, right? Like in the starting 11, 3 players from the last game were already changed. So when we talk about this rotation, are you saying change 7 players, change 8 players? Like, what are we asking for? Like 3 players who started in the last game did not start in this game.
Yeah.
No. Again,
the lineup is the problem today.
I'm not saying the lineup was a problem. I'm saying, but 3 players were changed. So when you're asking about rotation, that's a rotation already in itself. There's 3 new people off the bench in the starting lineup today. Are we expecting 5 changes, 6 changes? Like, yeah, no. Who was in the last lineup and who was in this lineup? I could pull it up.
The only thing I would have changed for a perfect lineup would have been Eze in instead of Trossard, because I just want to get a run of games with the best.
If you're talking about the rotation again, yeah, okay, we've brought in Calafiori again, who's our main left back, right? Fair enough, right? But that's a forced change because Ben White's out injured. So this is the thing, Adeo. Like, but there's rotation, and then there's forced rotation, and then there's the right rotation, which is players that are performing come in and play.
If injury forces you to rotate, then you rotate. But then if there's a player that is performing, again, Ben White was performing, you play Ben White. I agree with you. But then there's a certain level of time where you're like, okay, I have Timber ready to play. Ben White, I know you're performing, but I also have to manage you, because if I run you into the ground, we were the same Arsenal fans who yelled for 3 years, Saka is going to get injured and be out forever. We're running Saka into the ground. Now they're making those minor changes and allowing other players come in. And you're like, oh yeah, if he's performing, just keep him on the pitch. Like, what are we doing here?
This here from Tevin says, Madueke and Eze will play Tuesday. Just calm down, bro. I swear it's always some kind of meltdown with us. Shit is draining. I will say I agree with Tevin here. You play Tuesday in a big game against Palace, and then you play on the Saturday again. So that's maybe why certain players got 90 minutes and certain players came off, because they're going to be used in those games. Because I think the Carabao Cup now, every game that's remaining in it's brilliant, because you versus Palace, and then it's going to be also they look really poor today, Palace. You guys should batter them.
Oh my god, yeah, that got a lot of confidence seeing Leeds do that. By the way, the best name in the Premier League, Anton Stack. What a free kick.
He's saving Noni for Saka's injury, is what Jedward said here. Crazy thing. He'd be the first one crying if Arteta changed something and we lost. All the players that didn't play will play versus Palace. That's the one thing I will remind all of you. You won today, by the way. Just so you all know, you won.
I know. No. I think that's true. That's why I said, guys, we're top of Christmas. That's why I wanted to make that very, very clear before I start, delving into the performance itself. I think it's
back your favourites as well, Anton. I'll remind you.
Farhan here says that we only played good against Leeds and Spurs and a couple of Champions League games. The rest are not convincing wins.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you can. I don't know what's convincing. Again, that's another question. Brandon created the biggest chances.
Do you know what I find really interesting? Is sometimes forget me because there are people that think I'm a secret Arsenal fan. So let's just forget my opinion. I might have watched about 10 to 15 Arsenal games this year with my brother, who's a Leyton Orient fan. He's not a content creator. He's not a TikToker looking for attention. And whenever we watch Arsenal play, he just speaks about how good you are and how comfortable your games are. He's watching it with no emotion, no fear, no nerves, no agenda. Fine, you could be right. I could be wrong. My brother could be wrong. Doe could be right. Anton could be wrong. Always wrong. Honestly, when I this year, I feel like most of your games, you may not have smashed teams with 2 or 3 goal margins, but I just feel like today with Everton, barring 15 minutes of pressure at the beginning of the second half, they created nothing against you. And the games where you lost away from home by conceding quite late, that was the anomaly this year. That's because you stopped being aggressive and you sat back. Today, what you did very well in that last 15 minutes is you held onto the ball, you pushed your line up, and you were aggressive, and they didn't get a sniff. Like, to be fair, I get why Arsenal fans were nervous because the last few away games, you've lost it in those dying minutes. But I was watching it. Again, no emotion. It was easy. So again, I do get it. Everyone wants to win 4 or 5-0, batter teams, feel comfortable, but I feel like you guys have been really comfortable this year.
Yeah.
What got me was when Alan Smith's going in commentary, basically going on all the time. I can't see how Everton are going to get back into this. I can't see where there's an attack going to come from. I can't see this, and they're never creating anything. And we're like,
that's honest commentary, though. You know who's in the commentary, by the way, in the game I watched. I want to big him up. Darren Bent. He actually is made for co-commentary. I thought he was great to do the international broadcast.
Oh yeah, we didn't hear that here.
Did you hear Daniel Sturridge one with handball where he said he was going for a dive in the pool?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I also agree with Daniel Sturridge today that the push on Gyokeres should have been a penalty. I still don't understand why that wasn't given, but there we go. If Trossard and Zubi scored, nobody would be moaning on the panel. Simply unlucky. We were good in attack. And Spectre Rising here says, Brandon, bro, sorry, but you have the most obtuse view on football I've seen on this channel. Big picture is eluding you completely.
What's the big picture?
There's no explanation what the big
yeah, we need to
I think the big picture simply means like there's certain games that are going to be hard for us. And then even when you watch a player, just because he didn't look good on the eye, you have to look at what they actually did. For example, you guys talked about how bad Odegaard was today. According to all the stats, he created 4 big chances, the most chances in the game. No. He did. So whether you like the way he created it or you don't, you might not like the way it looks because it doesn't look flashy and it wasn't one of those things that you expected him to flick behind him and then do a back heel, scorpion kick pass. Yeah, fine. Whatever it is, the stats show that he created them. My point is he was effective in what he needed to do. And this is what we need. This is XG. This is not XG. Creating creating big chances, opportunities for a goal. Like he created 4. This is not about XG. His XG is literally 0. Like they didn't expect him to score, but chances created, right? He created the most chances. Next, Bukayo Saka had the most dribbles with 4. Yeah, yes, he was disposed of the ball a couple of times, but big picture over 90 minutes, and that's what football is in moments. 2 moments that we missed that hit the woodwork. Close range. So what are we do? Like,
can I just ask you a question though? Because like for me, like I'm always just like you defending the football club. For me, I just wanted to know from you, like, did you want to see just a better attacking performance, just to breathe a little bit of more confidence and bring that chest back a little bit? Because that's all I kind of was asking. I wanted to see pump every single game. You know what I mean?
I wanted to just see 3 points with Everton that we've been losing to over the last 2 seasons. We've been drawing to them. I wanted to see an away game where, okay, we've had tough 3 away games that we have drop points in, where we don't drop points in an away game. The boys are like, okay, we've gone away this time around. We've been able to play, not drop points. Now the next away game, let's add another layer to it. Now we're not only not going to drop points, we're going to attack more and show more vim. The next one, add more to it, because away games are tough. At home, I think it's a little easier. That's all
your next game will be interested in the league, though. Your next game, you're Brighton. Brighton are not renowned for sitting back and being really negative. They open up an attack. So at the Emirates, it'll be an interesting one.
It's also been poor away from home, Brighton.
Yeah, not in great form.
I asked for a 1-0 win against Everton, man. Terry, that was my prayer.
I hear
give
that.
me 1-0 and let's
Look,
just get out of this place.
Yeah, I
wanna-
want 3 or
I
4
want to
against
thank
Brighton. to be
everyone
fair.
who's tuned into the show tonight. I want to thank all of our super chatters, all the donations. It's been a great deal. I am going to go to bed now because my throat's killing me. My head's still spinning. I'm mashed. But so I want to thank you all for coming on the show. Congrats to Arsenal on the win. Thank you to all of our viewers. Please like, share, and subscribe. This is going to redirect you to MHF with Mo and Hussam. So go and support the boys over there, please. But until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye.